guys, Miss Charlie here with the next project pan from September to October. What I used in October, how the progress was, and then that'll be like a recap, and then what I'm using for the month of October. So got a lot of stuff to go through. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm starting with these lip products. I used the Cab lip oil. There was 2 in a pack. It was a lemon and a lime, and this is the lemon one, and I used it quite a bit. I did not measure this one, unfortunately, to see the progress, but I did use it quite a bit. And then I used the chapstick lip scrub in Sugar Plum, and I used this quite a bit, and I'll put a picture here that shows you where it was when I started it, and this is what it looks like now. So I use this quite a bit too. It's a nice scrub. It's not too coarse, but it does get the dead skin off, and it has a nice taste, and I got this at the Dollar Tree. So those were 2 lip products. Next, I have these sprays. This is the Milani Replenishing Facial Mist and the Milani Fruit Fetish Make It Last in Kiwi Watermelon. And this is the setting spray, and then I use this before makeup, and then after I put my powders on to set it down. I use this one up, and then I brought in this one here from Beauty Skin from my previous project pan. It only had a little bit left in it, so I used that up. So these 2 were used up. And then the Fruit Fetish one, this is what it looked like when I started, and then this is what it looks like now where I ended. So this one I did use a lot of it up. It made my makeup last, and it has a nice scent, and I got both of these, well, all 3 of these came from TJ Maxx. This was in the clearance for $3, this was $3.99, and then this was also $3.99. So used up these 2 and used up half of this one. Next are the foundations, the e.l.f. Flawless, this is the Flawless Finish. This is where I was, and it's only just a little bit down farther than that, you can see. And then the Catrice is kind of hard to see, but this is where it was, and it's only a small bit down from there. What I do is I mix these 2 together, and I put them in one of these little containers I get from the dollar store, and I mix them together for the month. So whatever I used in here is used up. It's all used up for the month, and then you can hardly see a difference because foundations you don't really need that much of, but I did use both of these. The Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Retinol Eye Cream, I used this quite a bit. This is what it looked like when I started, and this is what she looks like now. She's got a nice hole down in there. It's very emollient, don't need much. I wish that it came with a spatula. Now if it did, maybe it was in the box, but I didn't notice, but I don't think it comes with a spatula. I do have a spatula, or you can buy these on Amazon or whatnot, but I just used the back of my thumb to get down in there. But if you're just using it on yourself, I mean, it's not so bad, but if you were using this on someone else, of course you want to have a spatula to use. But this one worked very well, and I used this at night for my skincare and also when I did my makeup. The Kate Somerville Goat Milk Moisturizer. Here's what it looked like before, and here's what she looks like now. Very, very moisturizing. You don't need but a small bit. I just dabbed it on my forehead, cheeks, and chin, and it worked just fine. Has a slight smell, not much, but I really enjoy Kate Somerville products, and this is another hit. So this is what I used last month. I put the Wet n Wild brow kit in because I thought I was getting this one before I started my Project Pan, because I got this from the BoxyCharm drop shop. I ordered this on August the 12th and I didn't end up getting it till September. So I started using the Wet n Wild one. This is my second one. And then once I got this, I started using it. Open it. So I used this one and I would just mix these two here for the inner part of the brow and then this for the rest. And then I also mixed it with this one as well, because my brows are dark and this is kind of light, even though this color is in Eddie. But that's what I used for last month. I also used the Wet n Wild Color Icon pencil in Seema Brown Now. These pencils are like this long. When I started, I think this one was about this long, and here's what it is now. I get these at the dollar store for $1.25. They'll last you a long time. Some of these, because you have to sharpen them, make sure you put them in the refrigerator or freezer before you use them so they firm up, because if they're too soft, when you try to sharpen them, you're gonna lose so much product because it just keeps breaking. That's one thing I hate about them, but I try to remind myself to put them in the refrigerator before I do my makeup to, firm it up and then use it. But I use this pencil and she's almost done. The ColourPop bronzer, well, no, bronzer, this is a contour. Yeah, this is a bronzer. The Super Shock bronzer in Paradise City. I had gotten this new. I've used it quite a bit. You can see there's a little dip in there. I really enjoyed this. It went great over powder or just before I powdered. I had no problems with it, no patchiness. It worked great. And you can see what it was when I started and where it is now. The powders I used, Laura Geller Baked and Brighten, and this one is in Deep. I did get a backup of this in Toffee from the drop shop from BoxyCharm, but I'm gonna be using this one for a while. It's a dome, so you can see that dome is no longer a dome, it's flat, but I use this and it will show you where it was when I started and where it is now. And then the Cab Translucent Powder, got this in a BoxyCharm. This was absolutely fabulous. Reminds me of the Laura Mercier. Very light, very finely milled, was not cakey at all. So again, you see where it was and where it is now. These blushes, I got these from Shop Miss A. My best friend sent these to me, a warm and a cool in 04 and 06 from Starry. These are very pigmented. You only need a dip in these, so the numbers on this are probably not going to be that. I didn't even weigh these. No, I didn't even weigh these, because you're not going to see a difference because these are very pigmented. I just dipped into them one time and it covered both cheeks, so these will be around for a long time, but I used these last month. These Revolution highlighters, I did not weigh them either because you're not going to see a lot of a difference in the weight because they're very pigmented. You only need a little bit of these. You can't tell the difference what I've used, but I use these quite a bit, and all I did was just run my finger on my brush all the way through, just like that, and put them on. They're very smooth, very buttery, but you're not going to really see a difference in these, so I did not weigh them, but that's what I used last month. This little Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Soft Focus Primer. This I got in a giveaway. I almost used it up. It's almost done. So you can see what the weight is when I got it and the weight it is now. So this is almost used up. I really enjoyed this very much. I would consider getting a bigger size, but I have things in my collection that mimic this, so I don't really need it. But this one was from Charlotte Tilbury. These powders from Pure, you're not really going to see a whole lot of difference in this because I swap those in and out every other day for the ColourPop bronzer. But I've been working on these for quite some time and I really enjoy them. And then the Ulta and the Makeup Geek bronzers. Not really going to see a lot of those because those are very pigmented as well. This one has gotten down a little bit, but not much, so I did not weigh either of these, but that's what I used last month. The LA Colors eye primer, I used this for every look for last month. Got this at the dollar store. It is very drying, just so you know. So if you already have dry eyelids, you want to make sure your eyes are moisturized before you put this on because it's very drying. You only need a little bit. I had no problem with application of shadows or wear time, but just to tell you, it is a very dry formula. And I did weigh this one. So this is what it looked like when I started. And this is what it looked like after the month. I had these two mascaras in my thing. I started out with this one and then I kind of added this one to it along with this one, because this one, as you can see how messy that is? It got so dry. It was hard to open, and you see the mess it made around. It's just dry, and then when I started putting it on, it would just flake and ball, and I was just like, no. It's time for her to go. But this is the Blink Ultra Volume Tubing Mascara. I liked it for a while because I've used it a few times. It's been in a few project pans, but it's just dried, and this is what I get, and now it's too dry. When I put it on, it just flakes everywhere. So this one I stopped using, and I pulled in the Item Lash Shack because I do like the brush on this. I like the formula too, but this one is also drying up. I like the brush because it is nice. Come on, focus for me. There we go. Nice and small. And then I pulled back in the CoverGirl lash volume. This was a sample size because I did enjoy this, and I enjoyed the wand as well. But what I would do is I would take this and put that in there and use this formula instead, because this wand was not picking up the formula in here. So I used this. So I used that for this for half of the month, and these two the other half of the month. For concealer, I used the Born This Way and the Item. The Item, I took the stopper out so I can get most of that out of there. I love this, and I have a backup, and then I just mix these two together so you can see where they were when I started and where they are now. This Glamlite Calligrapher felt pen I did not like. I did use it, but I did not like, I don't know if it's maybe the handle, which would be good because if it's ergonomic, it keeps it in your hand. It's not small, but I just didn't like the tip. I didn't like it. Let me turn this light back on. Yeah, I didn't like the tip of this. I did use it, but I ended up having to go back in and clean up a lot with this using my Hank & Henry pen. This is the Blankety Black pen, and this is a brush tip, and I love this pen so much because it's very precise. It reminds you of the KVD tattoo, and I have that one as well. So I would use this, and then if I needed to make my wing, you know, really pointy or clean up any edges or whatnot, I went in with this one. But I did use this one. Didn't like it as much, but I will continue to use it until it's used up, and I'll have to pair it with something else. The liner I used was the Extreme Lasting pencil from Essence. This one is in Black Love. I have a backup of this. This is a very dark, creamy black liner. That's barely pressing on it. Barely pressing on it, and it lasts all day. It's absolutely lovely, and it's not expensive. You can get this I got mine at Myers, and I got a backup of this and the brown one, which is called something espresso. What is that? It's called But First Espresso. Beautiful liners, very inexpensive, but I used this one last month. I think I used another liner too. I think I used the liner from Wet n Wild, I think, as well, but I don't know what I did with it. So if I did, I'll put it in the description if I used the one from Wet n Wild, but that's the black liner I used last month. All right, so we're gonna get into what I'm using for the month of October. And if you don't know, I keep things in a box for the month, and this is what I pull out of every day for that month to use. I will have like my blush and my highlight. I'll have a warm and a cool depending on what I'm using, and then I might have extra things pulled in as well. But we're gonna go through my box that I'm using for Project Pan for October. First, I'm using these wipes from the Creme Shop. I got this in a BoxyCharm drop shop. I got like 2 packs for $3. I did get another one in a BoxyCharm, and I really like them. And these are the grapefruit and collagen wipes, and they smell like grapefruit. They smell nice. They remove makeup. I usually use these before makeup just to get off any residue or anything like that, or to wipe off my hands. If I put concealer or something on the back of my hand, I use it for that. But these are really nice wipes, and they're also great for travel. I think I traveled with the 1 pack of these in January, so, but they're good for travel, so that's gonna be in this month's box. For setting sprays, I'm using the Hard Candy Matte and Long Wear. This one only had a little bit in it, so I went ahead and just poured it into this one. So this is what I'm using right now, and it's halfway full. And I've been using it. I'm doing this video a few days into October, but I've already started using these products, but this is probably halfway full. But again, this had a little bit in it, so I figured use it up. I just poured it into this one. So these 2 are being used for this month. I'm also using the Hard Candy Hydrating Primer Mist. After I wipe my face down with the wipe, then I will spray this on for extra moisture. This one is, can't tell where it is, but it's probably about down here. So I'll probably have to pull something else in later on because this will probably be used up. Bronzers I'm using, this one is from Beauty Benefits. I got this from the Dollar Tree a while ago. They don't have this brand anymore, but I really like this powder. It's really light and finely milled, and it's supposed to be a pressed powder, but I use it as a bronzer, it works fabulously. And then this one here from Wet n Wild, this was from one of their limited edition collections. This is in Queensland, that off there. And this is almost gone, so I figured I might as well go ahead and just mix these 2 together and try to get them used up. Contour and blush. For contour, liquid contour, cream contour, I'm using this Flesh foundation stick in Tiramisu. I got this at the Dollar Tree. You see how short it is. I use this for cream contour. Use a foundation for cream contour if you can't find anything. It works just as good, and it meshes with your foundation. Won't break it up or anything like that. So I'm using that for cream contour. And then for powder contour, I'm using this palette from Rimmel. This is the golden bronze. You get this at the drugstore. And I'm using the blush and highlight, and then also the powder for a contour when I want to do powder contour, because I will switch these out one day and then the next day switch them out. And then for blushes, I'm using the Half Caked in Bloom. This is in Day and Night. Got this in a BoxyCharm. This is my cooler toned blush, and then the cat hair, sorry. And then the primer infused blush from e.l.f. in Always Rosy, and this one is more warmer tone. It's a little bit neutral. It's warm and cool. So what I've been doing is just mixing these together. You only need one dip into each because they're very pigmented. So those are the blushes and the contour that I'm using. I also have these two as highlights as well. This is the Laura Geller blush in Tropic Hues. This is too glowy for me for a blush, so I use it as a highlight. It's very pretty peachy highlight on me. And then the Wet n Wild rainbow highlighter in Bronze Over the Rainbow. This I will use for a warm toned highlight. I just go in and swirl it around, and it's a nice everyday highlight. You can see them both. They're very nice and subtle. You could use these every day, but these are what I'm using for this month for highlight. For brows, I am using this Ioni brow kit I got at the Dollar Tree. This one is in, it doesn't say, it just says Perfect Brow Mini Kit. And this is what she looks like. I've been using these two mixed together. I like the little compact, it's magnetic, really cute. And then also the Broadway Colors eyebrow kit. Got this one also at the dollar store. So I do mix these together, and I do use the wax sometimes. So that's what I'm using for brow powders. For liners, I tried using these. I put these in my project pan for this month, but I tried using them and I don't like them. So they're going to be just, they're not going to be used any longer. But this is the Ioni brow pencil, and this is very hard, and it does give me a good line, but when I'm trying to put this on my eyes, it's very hard to get this amount of color without hurting your brow, because that's a sensitive area. You really have to press down to get this color. So I'm gonna discontinue this one. And then this one from Marcel, this is their hypoallergenic eyebrow liner, and this is in medium brown. It has a spoolie on it, but this is way too light. There you go. It's way too light, and it's also hard for me to get this to show up. I have to do like this and this. I just have to keep doing like that for it to show up on my brows, when I just want to go like this because I just use it for outlining. And I have to do this, and I'm just not into that. I want it to be a one swipe thing, and these two are not working for me. So I won't be using these two. I'll probably end up throwing those away. But I brought in my Brow Contour Pro from Benefit. I got this at TJ Maxx. I need to get another one of these. This one is in Brown Black Deep, and it has the different colors on it. You can for highlight or whatnot, but I've been using these two colors, and this dark one is perfect for me. And then this one is also a little bit more perfect for me. So I'm getting rid of those two, and then I'm throwing in the Brow Contour Pro. For lip products, I have this, is it Tanias lip oil in Plumera Petals. I really enjoy this. It looks very pretty, and it has like a gold reflect, but on your lips it's very subtle but it's very moisturizing. So I'm using this as my lip oil. I brought back into the Be Pure lip sugar with shea butter. I got this at the Dollar Tree. This came from BoxyCharm. There's not a lot in there, but it is very coarse, like the e.l.f. lip scrub, and I like this very much. This one, it doesn't have a flavor, but you just need a little bit. It takes off the dead skin, leaves your lips very smooth. And then I have this Glossier Rose Balm, and I'm almost done with it. These things last forever, and they are very hydrating, so I'm trying to use up this. So that's what I'm using for lip products. For powders, I am using the Laura Mercier translucent, favorite. I've gone through many of these, and I also have a small one for travel. And then I mix them with mix a lighter powder with a darker powder, and I'm using the Infallible Fresh Wear in the color Hazelnut 330. See where I am on that. I've already hit pan. It's beautiful. This is too heavy for me to use as a foundation, so I mix it with this as a setting powder under my eyes, and then just to set my foundation lightly. Works perfectly for that. And then I got the one size powder in a drop box, and this one is in a dark deep, but I use this very sparingly because it is darker than this color. Open her up, and that's what she looks like. So what I do is when I do my under eyes, I will take my little sponge here from Real Techniques, and I'll dip it into this, and then I'll dip it into this, and that's how I will put on my powder under my eye, so very lightly. And then when I do to set down the rest of my face, I use my puff, and then I go into this again, and then press down and set my foundation. You only need a little bit, so this will last me a long time. I have quite a lot of powders. If you saw my video for my powder collection, I'll link it below if you haven't, but this is new to my collection. So these are the powders I'll be using for October. Concealers I'll be using is the Becca Smashbox Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I got this also in a drop box. This one is in medium dark. I put this on just a tiny bit under my eyes, a little bit, and then I mix the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and this one is in a deep cinnamon, and the Camouflage Concealer from Essence, and this one is in dark caramel, and I mix these together along with this under my eyes. Have no problem. It works beautifully for spot concealing as well, because I will put on a little bit under my eyes to spot conceal and color correct, and also around my mouth and cheeks where I have a little bit of discoloration. And then after I put on my foundation, I will put a little bit more under my eyes if I need to correct, or if they're still showing any darkness, to tone it down. So this is what I'm using for October. Hydration products, I am using the e.l.f. Hydration Stick. This is from their Active collection. I got this at the dollar store, and it's just a hydrating stick. Put this, rub it under the eyes to add some additional hydrations, or any spots where you are dry this time of year. The cold air is going to take that moisture out of your skin. I put it around my mouth and my nose or my chin, where I know I'm going to get dry during this time of year, and this really helps. The Touch and Soul Primer Essence. This is about done. I got a couple more uses, and this is done. This came in a boxy charm. This is for hydration as well before makeup. The e.l.f. This is Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild Water Drop Primer. This one is in Cucumber. I've gone through a few of these. This is very hydrating, especially this time of year. The only thing I don't like about it is it smells like lighter fluid. It does not smell like cucumber. It smells like butane lighter fluid, but I digress. But it's still it's a good primer, or I wouldn't continue to use it. The smell dissipates, but if you are prone to smells and you don't like that, this is not for you. But it is a good primer. It's a hydrating primer. This Pacifica Dreamy Youth Day and Night Cream. This is almost gone because it wasn't a project pan, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it up. This Comfort Zone Hydra Memory Cream Gel. This came in a box as well. This is brand new, so I'm just starting to use it so far. I like it. It's very lightweight, moisturizing. Again, this time of year, you need these things. And then the Mud Masky Vitamin Boost Eye Cream, Eye Serum. And it's very thin. It's an eye serum. It's not a cream, so you only need a little bit. And when I have eye creams in my project pan, I use them before makeup, and I also use them at night with my skincare. So this still has quite a bit in it, but it's gonna go through a few more project pans, but it's a very good product, very hydrating. So these are my hydrating products for this month. Foundations, I am using the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. You can see there's not much left in there. She is down there. And then the Superstay, Maybelline Superstay. This one is in 370 warm, but the color is cool. And we talked about that in my foundation collection. The colors on these are off. The warm is neutral and the neutral is warm. So I don't know what's up with that. But the Maybelline one is in 330 Toffee Caramel, and I mixed these together. So these are my foundations for the month. Lastly, I forgot this brow product. This is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Gel. This applicator is absolutely awful. This is supposed to be a brush, and it failed. It failed. If you use this product, you have to clean it off and be very, very light, and then go over it with a regular spoolie. But I like the performance. It does keep your brow hairs in place, but it's just the applicator is just not a good one. And I got this at TJ Maxx, and this is, it doesn't have a color, it just says, oh, it's in black brown. So I'm using that. For black liner, I'm using this Trestique one in Santorini Black Sand. This is a very nice black liner, very smooth. This will probably be used up this month. And then I'm also using this e.l.f. eyeliner. I got this at the dollar store, and it has a sharpener in the cap. And this is also nice. It's not black, it's more like a dark charcoal, but it works because I just use it on my upper waterline to fill in between my lashes. So that's that one. For black liquid liner, I'm using this one from LA Colors. This one is just in black, I guess. Yep, just in black. Yep, just in black. This I have a backup of. This is a beautiful liner. Very, very black, very smooth. I don't mind this felt tip versus the one from Glamlight. This one is more flexible. The one from Glamlight is more stiff, but this is $1.25. The other one my friend gifted me. I don't know how much that one is, but this is $1.25, and it's beautiful. So if you see this in your Dollar Tree, try it. They also have it in brown. And then lastly, we have the Voluminous mascara from L'Oreal, one of my favorites. I got this in a 2-pack from TJ Maxx. I used the other one, and that one has long gone, and now I'm using this second one. I love the brush. It makes my lashes stay curled. It defines them. I have no problems with it. It does not flake. It's a beautiful mascara. So that's the liner and mascara for October. Alrighty, so this is what I'm using for the month of October, my project pan. Come back next month and we'll see what the progress went, if any of these got used up, if I switched it out for something else. But if you're doing a project pan, let me know. I'd like to see what you're using and how you're using it. But I started this over a year ago, and I've gone through so many products doing a project pan monthly. These are the items that I use and I have to use every month. If something doesn't work out, of course I can switch it out, but most of the time, I'm gonna say 85% of the time, I use everything that's in the box, again, unless I use something up or something doesn't work. And I've used up so many things in my collection, and also found things in my collection that I might have forgot about and want to pull them out and use them. But I thank you so much for watching. If you use any of these products, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Again, if you do a project pan, also follow me on Instagram. I appreciate you all very, very much. Thank you all for coming. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.